At present, no disturbance. Starting disturbance only.
Okay, fine. So yesterday gone through these concepts, data dictionary and what is domain data element, and we explained you what is client dependent table and what is client independent table, right? And we have created a table using built-in data types without using data elements and domains. So today we'll create a table by using domains and data elements. So what is the use of domains and data elements? Reusability,
Reusable
consistency,
for maintaining consistency.
and also additional options like case sensitive option, field
Yeah.
labels,
Field labels.
right?
Yes,
These
sir.
so these are all advantages of using domains and data elements. So let me create a table. We'll create the same table. What is the transaction code for data dictionary?
SC11.
S11. So what is our table name? What is our table name? In
The
which server we
devoted
created it? 21 or 20? I think we created it in 2020 server. Okay. Since it is slow, 2021 is not working yesterday. So yeah, how many primary keys we have in this table?
one prime.
One prime
One
one.
primary key.
Yes, sir.
So so every database table should contain at least so at least one primary key is required. And what is the maximum limit of primary keys we can use in a table?
Still.
It's
16
16.
primary keys. We can use 16 fields as primary keys in a table. Okay. So when you are using 16 primary keys, the records will be identified as unique records by combination of all those 16 records, right? If we are using only single primary key, how can you say that record is a unique record? So depends on the employee ID field because here we have only employee ID is the primary key. Employee ID should not repeat, right? Remaining values might repeat. Employee name, city and phone number might be same, but employee ID should be always unique. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now we'll create a table. Mm, I'll delete this table and create again. How to delete the table? Enter the table name, click on
We have
delete.
that option.
What it is saying? Table demo employee is still being used. Remove the usage first. What it is saying?
Means we need to get come out of
This table
everything.
is being used somewhere. It is saying that this table is being used somewhere. Let's find where it is using before going to delete it. So here select the table. What is this? Where
Where
used
you
list. Where used list. So since we have gone through only programs, please select only programs option and click on continue. Yes, it is showing one program. Click on here. Okay, here we are using this table, right? So before going to delete it, we have to adjust this program. Otherwise, if you delete the table and if you try to execute this program, is it going to work?
No, sir.
No,
No.
it's not going to work. Okay, so for that reason it is showing that information. Hey, this table is being used in a program. Before going to delete it, please check the program. Okay, so anyway, I'm deleting this. That's the information. That's not going to stop us. Continue, click on continue. Okay, looks like it's not force, it is forcing us to remove that. uh, Go to the program, go to where user list, double click. I'm commenting this, I'm commenting this, I'm commenting the code and activate the program. Go back. Now check where user list for the program. Where user list is very important. You can check where that object being used. So not found in selection search. So it is not using anywhere. Delete it. Table still contain data. What is the again? Again, it is showing one more warning.
Table
So
is still having
data
some data
is
on.
having some data. Data is also deleted when table is deleted. Okay,
If you want to
when you are
delete,
deleting the metadata, the data also deleted. Okay,
okay, sir.
so continue. Maybe first you need to delete it. Click on delete. Delete the data. This one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, delete. So table is deleted. Table is deleted. Not available. I'm creating a table. I'm creating the table again.
Observe the constants.
Employee master data. So what is the delivery class?
A.
So what is the type of table? Application table.
Application
Application
table.
table.
Yeah, delivery and maintenance allowed. Go to the fields. Provide the field names. So what type of table we are going to create? Is it a client independent table or client dependent table?
Client dependent.
Dependent.
If you want
MANDT.
to create the client dependent table,
We have to
you need to
amend
use
it.
MANDT as
MANDT.
first field. If you don't want to create a client dependent table, just
No need
remove.
to.
No
No need to
detail.
use MANDT. Field name should
Yes.
be MANDT. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The data element is also the corresponding data element is
Mm,
also MANDT for
Yes.
client number. Okay, it's a standard data element. Okay,
yes, sir.
that should be a primary key and that should be a first field of the table. Second field, employee ID.
Employee ID. We can
Is it a primary key or not? Employee ID in employee master data.
primary.
Employee
Primary.
ID is a primary key.
Primary key.
So we should not allow two employees with the same ID, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Now, do we have a data element for this? It's a custom field. We are creating a custom field and we have added one field employee ID. Do we have existing data element for employee ID?
No, sir.
We don't know that. We don't know that. There might be a.
Don't know.
Let's search
Data
for
entry.
that. Let's search for that. Z star EMP. I'm typing this and clicking on F, pressing F4 in keyboard. Press F4. Or if, or some in some keyboards we need to activate function key to press F4. These are all existing data elements created in this system, right? ZDEMP ID character 10 element for employee ID. There are many data elements created for employee ID, created by
Employee.
different users. But if you want to use the existing, just use the existing one. Select the data element and click on enter, right?
Sir, if we do this now,
Mhm.
the data which is means like which is there in ZDE employee ID will display on this, right?
Data will not be available in data element. This is just
Okay.
reference data type and length, right?
Okay. It can be duplicate, right, sir?
Duplicate in the sense you can use the same data elements in any number of tables wherever you
Oh,
have employee ID.
employee ID. Okay, sir.
Wherever you have employee ID. Data is not going to store here Instead of built-in
Okay.
type, we are providing data element. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what is built-in type? Here we are providing data type, length, and
Length.
description, right? So instead of
Yes,
providing
sir.
manually every time, so to maintain some consistency, we are going to create one data element and provide all these characteristics like data type, length, description, and everything inside the data element. So just
Okay, sir.
instead of entering manually, just enter the data element so that it will automatically assign the data type, length, and description, right?
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Data will
sir.
not store in this data element. Data will store in the table. This is just a reference data type and length. Okay. So let's assume we don't have a data element. I'm removing this. We don't have data element available for employee ID. So what we need to do? We need to create a
Built-in.
data element and a domain. Okay. First we need
Okay,
to,
sir.
what is the domain?
Domain is a means like data type and length
Technical attribute of the field. Technical attributes means data type and length.
and length.
Okay. So let's
We need to
first
provide
create the
manually.
domain. First create the domain. Go to SC11. There are two approaches to create domains and data elements. This is the first approach. Top-down approach. First create the domain and create the data element. Use domain created in the data element. Go to domain, select the domain. You can see this option, right? Domain option. So enter the name. Domain should start, custom domain should starts with Z. Standard
Z.
domain, for example, Matner. This is a domain for material number. This is the data type. This is the length. It is
Stand.
not case sensitive. It is not case sensitive. So value ranges. So these are the this is standard domain for material number. Now we will create a custom domain for employee ID. For example, Z mm,
Z demo.
create the data domain. Employee ID. This is domain description, not the field description. Please observe. This is description of the domain.
Okay,
Now
sir.
Yes,
data
sir.
type. What is the data type for employee ID? Char
Care
10.
10.
There is no decimal places for employee ID. Not
Okay.
required. So output length is also 10.
We can. Okay.
For example, if you take date, what is the input length and what is the output length? Input length
Input
is
is
8,
8 and
Yes,
output is
output length
10.
is 10, right? Now,
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
case sensitive. Is it a case sensitive or not? I don't want to make it as a case sensitive so that it will automatically
We can.
convert everything into uppercase. Okay?
Okay, sir.
And here
Yes,
value
sir.
ranges, fixed values, intervals, and value tables. Fixed values can be like if you want to fix any values for this domain, you can enter here. So we'll see that later. First, concentrate on creating the basic domain. So I provided the data type and length. I don't want it to be a case sensitive field. That's why I'm not selecting case sensitive option. Now save. For now, I'm selecting in the local object. Check. No inconsistencies found. Activate it. So this is the domain for employee ID. Now, what is the next step? We need to create a data element because we cannot directly enter domain in the table. We can enter data element, right? Here
Yes,
in the
sir.
table, you can provide the data element. What is the data element?
Did
Semantic attribute.
Z demo. Z
Yeah,
demo.
No,
field label and
field
field
labels and field
description.
headings, descriptions will be available in data element.
Okay,
Now,
sir.
we need to create a data element. What is the option to create the data element? Data type. Provide the
Data.
name. So we are creating data element, right? That is not, so you can use same name as domain name. It will allow because it's a different object, not the same object, right?
Yes,
Now
sir.
earlier we created the domain. Now we are creating data element. So you can use same name. Okay, same name as domain. Or if you want, you can also use different name. Create it
Okay.
and create the option data element. Continue.
Again, we need to give description.
Employee
Employee
ID.
ID.
Hmm.
Again, domain.
What we need to provide here? The domain what we have created.
Domain.
The
Zdemo
domain
10.
what we have
Same.
created earlier, right?
Yes, sir.
So is it mandatory to provide a domain name in data element? It is not
We can
always
also
No.
mandatory.
use
You can go to
built-in
built-in
type.
type.
Okay.
You
Ah,
don't need to
yes.
Okay.
create a domain to create the data element. Okay, please remember, you don't need to create a data element to create the domain. Sorry, you don't need to create a domain to create the data element. Domain is not mandatory to create the data element. You can use built-in type also instead of domain name. Char 10, you can directly enter here.
Yes, sir.
But why we create the domain? Again,
Technical.
to reuse the data type, to reuse the technical properties or technical attributes, and to achieve additional options like case sensitive and value tables, right? If you don't use domains, you cannot achieve case sensitive option, you cannot achieve value tables, you cannot use them in your table level. Okay, if you don't want all of those options, you don't need to create a domain. Okay,
Okay, sir.
but it is always recommended to create a domain. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so enter the domain. Next, go to
Field
field
label.
label, enter the field label, short description, empid, medium,
Employee ID.
employee ID. So I'll
Long
take same for rest. Okay.
ID. Okay, sir.
So when we are working with the reports, these names will display as headings, field headings. Okay, from data element. So you can observe when we are working on the reports, save and activate the data element. Now data element is active. Now take this data element, enter here in the table. Now data
That
type,
will
length,
automatic.
and description is assigned. Now whatever the properties we selected inside the domain, also those properties will also apply for this field. For example, if you select case sensitive option, that case sensitive property will be applied to this field. Whatever the data we are saving in this field, right? That will be in case sensitive. Okay, but by default, everything will be converted into
Uppercase.
uppercase. Now let's create a second field, emp name. This is not a data element because it doesn't make sense if you take name as a primary key. It's not a primary key. Now, do we have a primary key for employee name? First check that. When you are working in the projects, what you need to do? First check, is there any
We need to check.
existing data element available? Existing data element in the sense, first check for standard data element availability. If standard data element is available, use it. If standard data element is not available for name, then check for custom data elements. Is someone already created a data element for employee name? If it is
Check.
available, just use it. Otherwise, create
We
your
can
own data
create.
element. How to create the data element? Now, I'll follow the second approach, bottom up approach. First, so previously I followed a top down approach. Now, I'll follow bottom up approach. What is that? Bottom up approach. I've assigned a name. Is this available? It is not active. ZDemo employee is not active. That means this data element is not available. Now, how to
Yes,
create
sir.
this data element? I'm following bottom up approach. Now I don't need to go to S11 and first create the domain and first create the data element. Now I'll just double click on this. Double click on the data element. Yes, save the table or save the data element. Now what it is asking?
Create
Do
data
you want to
element.
create the data element? Yes, create the data element. Provide the description for data element. Provide the domain and field label. First provide the field label.
Employee name. Same.
So here in data element, right, we have a lot of other options like change document,
No.
parameter ID.
Yes,
So
sir.
we'll see in like later sessions. Okay,
Okay.
these are also important. But when you are using data elements and domains, right, we can achieve like we can use all these uh, advantages like properties, right? If we don't use, still we can create a table without using data elements and domains, but we cannot achieve all of this, right?
Yes, sir.
Now I've created the data element and provided the field label. Now
Name
domain,
Z demo
I'll take
10.
same name. Do you have this domain already available? No active domain
No.
available. So this domain is not available. What we need to do? Just
We
double click on it, save the data element. Now what it is asking?
does not
Create. Do you
receive
want to create a domain?
content.
Yes, create it. Provide the
Variable we can create.
data type, character,
Cap
maybe
10.
40.
Okay.
Okay.
Click on case sensitive, sir.
Do you want? Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
just to check.
Yes, yes, sure. Okay. Now save the domain, check the domain, and activate the domain. Go back, click on back or F3. It will take you to the data element. Now domain attributes are
Sustain.
populated. Now activate the data element. Is it active?
It is new
Data
but
element is
not
not
active.
active. Check the data element and activate the
It
data
is
element.
inactive.
So always please observe
Active.
this should be active. Data element or domain should be active. Then only you can use them. Okay. Now go back. It will take you to the table. So data element
Display.
properties are populated to the table. Right. So which one is
Yes, sir.
easier? Top down or bottom up?
Bottom up.
Bottom up is
Yeah,
easy.
you don't need to follow multiple navigations. You can create from the single screen by double clicking on
Yes.
the data elements and domains. Now, what is the other field we have? City.
Phone number. City.
We have city field.
City. Yes,
So do
sir.
we have a standard data element for city?
We need
You
to
don't
check.
know. There might be. City is
Check.
very common field, right? There should be a standard data element.
It
Let's
might
check
be.
in other table.
Okay, sir.
Mm, KNA1. KNA1 is customer master table. All the customer master data will be available. What is this?
City.
What is the field
City.
name?
ORT01.
ORT01. So don't confuse, like field names will be close to German names, right?
Yeah.
So Germans developed this, right? This software.
Yes.
They used field names like similar to their language. But if you want, you can use a different name. There is no rule that you should use the same field name. But what is the data element using for this field?
Yeah.
ORT01 GP.
ORT01 underscore GP. What is the data
Just
type length? 35.
Yeah.
Double click on the data element. Okay. Inside the domain, so they are using a different domain name, that is text35. Double click on the domain. So this is the domain. It is a case sensitive. It is case
Okay.
yes,
sensitive,
sir.
right? So now we have a domain, right, for city. Do we need to create a new domain again?
No need.
I'll copy this data element.
If you want, we can create, right, sir?
Anyway, yeah, if you want, you can
Okay.
create, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
can
Okay.
use standard domain. See, there are in S4HANA, right? There are two versions, on-premise and cloud. So there are some limitations in cloud versions. So it won't use standard objects in the custom developments. Okay, there are some limitations. Let's see this system is going to allow this standard data element or not. If it is not going to allow, we have to create. Check. Hmm. Use of data element ORT01 GP is not
It's
permitted.
not permitted. Okay.
Actually, it is a cloud version. Okay, so actually it is a cloud version. So that's why it is not permitting to use it.
Sir,
What?
when we are
Hmm.
we are writing for employee ID, we have checked with the Z star employee star, right? Like that, we can also check in city.
Yes, Z. For
Okay.
example, what is Z star?
Z
Z star
stars.
means starting with Z. That
Okay.
that name should starts with Z and
City.
star city. So what is the meaning of this? I am trying to search for an object which starts with
Start
Z
with
and
Z.
there should
End
be
with city.
this name city in between somewhere. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then press F4,
We have.
right? So we have many data elements available. So
We
depends on
can
it.
use any one of them, right?
Yeah, if it is suitable for your requirement, if it is a proper data element, you can use it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, since it is not allowing us to use standard data element, see, don't confuse because in on-premise versions, right? Mostly in your projects, you can use the standard data elements also along with custom data elements. Since it is a cloud version, we have some limitation. This server is a cloud version, so that's why there is some limitation. Okay, but still in your projects, you can definitely use standard data elements. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the alternative for us now? I'll show you. So this is the data element, right? Since it is not allowing us to use the custom or standard data element, what I'll do, go to
We
data
can
type,
create.
enter the name. I'm not going to create it from the beginning. Enter the
Okay.
name. What is this?
Copy.
Copy. Provide the new name. Now, standard data element will be copied to custom data element.
Custom data.
Or I'll make it as city. I'll change the name. Copy. Save it into local object. Activate it.
Change original language.
Original language means it should be in German.
Okay, sir.
So it is maintaining all the text and everything in German. Activate the data element. It is active. Data element is active. Now use the data element here. Okay. Now it is allowing us. Okay. So any
Yes.
object, so you can copy similar to programs, tables, anything you can copy into a new object. Okay. That's why I just want to show you that you can copy the existing one into new object. City is completed. Phone. For phone also, we might have standard data elements, but let's create a data element. Phone. There is no such data element available. Double click.
Yes. Yes. Phone number.
Do we need case sensitive option for phone number?
No.
No, right?
No,
Or
sir.
value tables? Those are not useful for me for case phone number. Those are all not required. So I'm not creating a domain for that.
Built-in type.
I'll directly
Okay.
use built-in type. There is no use in creating a domain, but it is always recommended. But I just want to show you one example here without creating a domain.
Yes, sir.
What I think we missed a field label. We have to add field labels. Cancel
Look.
this. Go to field label. Enter the field label.
Phone. Employee phone number.
So you have to fill all the four blanks also. Medium, long, heading.
Yes, all are not mandatory, but if you want, you can fill it. You can, or if you want, you can leave blank. Not mandatory.
Employee phone number. Paste. Paste.
Okay. Now activate the data element. Go back. Now
It will take.
Your
Yes,
table is
sir.
ready. So what is the next option? We have provided the field names and we selected the primary keys. What is the next important settings we need to do? Technical
Technical
settings.
settings.
These are very important. Technical settings. Now, what is the
Data
type of
class.
data? This
Up,
master data, right? Employee
Hmm.
master data. Select
master.
APPL 0.
APPL 0.
Size category. In my company, I
Zero.
have only
Three.
1500 employees. So it
2
will
to
take
Zero is
3 years
3000.
to increase the limit to 3000. Maybe 0 is sufficient for me. Okay.
okay, sir.
And save it. Go back and activate. So it's just warning for enhancement category. If you click on yes, it will display what is that warning. Enhancement category for this table is missing. So that is optional. Anyway, table is active. That's just a warning. Okay. You can ignore that warning or you can maintain the enhancement category. Where is it? In extras, I think. Enhancement
Extras.
category. So do you want to enhance it further? Yeah, can be enhanced deep. So copy and activate it. So now you won't see that warning message. Anyway,
Okay,
that
sir.
warning is not going to stop you to create the table. Now, so we have created a table with the help of domains and data elements. Now, whatever the data elements and domains you created here, let's say there is another table, employee salary table. You are creating it. There is also, we have a field called employee ID. So do you need to create a data element again?
No,
No
sir.
need,
It's
No,
sir.
okay.
just
We can
use
copy
the
paste.
data element which you are using here.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Mm.
So in your projects, right, first check for existing data elements. If a suitable data element is not available, then go for a custom data element.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now our table is ready. How to create the entries? Table contents, create entries. For example, E100. So want to try case sensitive option, right?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Geeta.
City is also case sensitive. Type some name, phone number.
Database record successfully created.
Yeah, one record is created. Save it. Second record is also created.
Phone number should.
Okay.
Yes, sir. 3 records are created.
Three records are created, right?
Great. Yes,
Now
sir.
all this data is in case sensitive, right?
Yes, sir. Create.
If you enter data like this, test name 103 and save it. Check the records. Maintain
Yes.
data in uppercase,
Uppercase.
right? So when you are displaying the data, when you are checking the data inside the table, right? You can use these filters. For example, if you want to check data record of employee 100, enter the employee ID and check execute. So it will display only that record. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And if you want to add more filter conditions, so here go to settings,
Fields for
fields
selection.
for selection. Or okay, you can select required fields or you can deselect fields. Okay,
Okay, sir.
for filter conditions. When it is displaying the data, right? Here we have few more options. Here it is displaying field names, right? As headers. If you want to
Yes, sir.
see field labels, select field label. So it will display the field labels from data elements, right? Instead of technical field names.
Okay, sir.
Okay. In settings, user
What is format
parameters.
list, sir? Field name you need to select.
Yeah, field name or field label. Field name, if you
Okay,
select field name, it will display field names as headings. Okay.
okay, sir.
So here we have display options, list display and grid display. If you select grid display,
It will
that
be like
it
this.
will display in the tabular format like this. Okay, with filters, ascending, descending, right? You can also download it to the Excel file,
Okay, sir.
download it in the local file. You can convert it to Excel output. Spreadsheet, if you click on this, it will display in
It
the
will go
Excel
in
file.
spreadsheet. Yes, sir.
Okay.
In settings, we have one more
Huh.
option. Not this, sir. Format something we got to see.
I think not here. That might be here.
Yeah, format list.
Where is it?
Settings.
Okay,
First
okay,
one.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
So this one, if you want to sort fields in ascending or descending order by
Okay,
names.
sir.
Okay.
We can change the position of field names,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, sir. Got
Okay.
it, sir.
This is how we create tables using data elements and domains. The process is same for even you create 100 tables. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But it looks easy. What is um, difficult and important here is analysis. When someone asks you to create the table, you need to analyze, okay, what is this field employee ID? What might be the maximum length allowed for this employee ID? What type of data we are going to save in this employee ID? Right? Is it a case sensitive or not case sensitive? Right? This kind of analysis first you have to do for each field. Then only you can create proper data element and domain, right? With correct data type and length,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So that is important. Creating is nothing. A 10th class student can also create, right?
Yes, sir.
But what is important? Analysis. So what is the field and what is the data we are going to save? We need to do that analysis. That is what the experience companies expect, right?
Yes, sir.
So usually we don't maintain data like this by in utilities table contents. We use a separate tool called table maintenance generator. So I'll just give you a small overview on it and will give you more details the further sessions. If you don't understand, please don't worry. Okay, I'll just show you. So how to create table maintenance screen? Just go to the table. Not here. Go to the table in change mode. Go to the table in change mode. Go to utilities, table maintenance generator. Select the authorization group as no authorization. There is some NC or something is there. This one without authorization group for now. So provide the function group. So I'll let you know what is function group in next sessions. So enter the same name as table name. Okay, function group name is also as same name. Here we have maintenance screens, one step or two step. Like you can select one step for now. If you select two steps, it will display two screens when you are creating the data. For now, I am selecting one step. So for that, we need to provide screen number. For example, provide 100 as the screen number. So standard recording routine and no, these are optional, no user recording routine. When you select the standard recording routine, right? Whenever you create a record in the table, it will ask for a transport request. What is transport request? By using transport request, we transport changes from development to test system and to production system. Whatever the programs, tables, data elements, domains you created, we are going to assign it to a transport request to transport it from development to test system. For now, we are not using it because we are saving all our objects in local package. That's why it is not asking for transport requests. Once we start using a proper package name, it will ask for a transport request. Okay. When you select this option, right, whenever you create a record, it will ask for a transport request so that you can transport the data records to next level system. For now, select no user recording routine and click on create, save it, save the function group, save everything. Table ZDemo employees extendable without limits because we selected deep structure, right? So enhancement category as can be deep, right? So it can be, the table can be extended in future. Now our table maintenance generator is ready. So where can we open this table maintenance generator? Screen, select the table name, go to SM30. SM30 is the screen where we can maintain table data. Enter the table name and click on maintain. Here you can create records in the table. You can maintain data in the table. Mostly we create table maintenance generator for master tables. We don't create table maintenance screens for transactional tables. Okay. So business users will maintain master data uh, in master tables using which option?
Table maintenance
Yeah,
screen.
table maintenance screen. What is the transaction code to open table maintenance screen?
SM13.
SM30, 30,
30.
SM30. Yeah, these are all existing records. If you want to update, you can update here. Changing any values, you can change here. Or to add a new record, click on new entries, E104. Some phone number. Like that, you can enter multiple records here one by one. And after entering all the records,
Save it.
is it going to accept if I don't enter city value?
It will be accepting, I guess, sir.
It's not a primary key, right? City is not a primary key,
Yes.
right? It can be blank.
Yes, sir.
Any value can be blank. Any non-primary key can be a blank. Okay, it won't
Okay, sir.
stop you. So click on save. Right? These are the records created in the table. So close the maintenance screen. And if you want to check the contents, go to the table and display. Records are created, right?
For existing, we have added some more records, right, sir?
Yes, yes. You can
Or
also
else we
create
have
from the beginning.
deleted.
You can also create from what you can do whatever you want. You can delete the records, you can add the records, you can change the records by using
Okay, sir.
table maintenance screen.
Only in that we can change or delete, sir. Other
Yes.
than that, we cannot change.
Sorry, what is your question? Come again.
Only in table maintenance only we
Ah,
can change or
yeah.
delete.
Yes.
Other than that, we
Yes.
cannot.
Yes. So we have other options, but those are not as simple as like this. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
But usually master data will be maintained using table maintenance screens. Whenever you create a master table, what is the other object you need to create? Table maintenance screen for that master table. Okay. No one asked you to create it. We have to do that. Okay. Whenever someone asks you to create a master table, create a table maintenance screen also.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Because
Okay.
to maintain the data, we need to use that. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the assignment is create a table with the help of data elements and domains, and then create a table maintenance screen. Just try that. If you're not able to do that, that's okay. I'll explain table maintenance later. Okay.
Sure, sir.